morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
So my name is Bart Myers. There we are. I'm the founder and CEO of Countable. My co-founder and I, Peter, who's also here, previously started a company called Sidereel. Some of you may have used it. It's a site where you consumer play, where you could watch TV shows online, keep track of your shows. Sold it in 2011, decided what we wanted to go after next, and decided on a much more significant problem. So I can barely see you, but by a quick show of hands, how many of you out there voted in the last election? Wow, well done. An election before that, the presidential election. Wow, that's like almost everybody. All right, awesome. So I was going to heckle those of you who did not vote, but since you all voted, well done. You're going to love Countable. Countable is for you. Essentially, what we built and the problem we're going after addresses this kind of core distinction. 13% of Americans, and pretty much is always holding steady at this number, disapprove of the job that Congress is doing, don't feel like their representatives represent them. And yet, 90+% of representatives in Congress get reelected every time. Something's not working. There's a problem there, and we're addressing it. How are we addressing it? What makes us different, what makes us really the first approach that's really fundamental is that we are bringing a mobile, fun, engaging way for you to simply and easily, on your commute in the morning, tell your representatives what to do, how to vote, and hold them accountable. In the process, we're building a platform. We're bringing together organizations, candidates, your community into one place where you can have a conversation about the issues that are affecting you. It is a civic engagement network. So how do we do it? We do a few things that are particularly interesting, new, and novel. One thing is we have an editorial team that takes that, which is literally a piece of legislation, and that is how it looks, and we turn it into that. Simple, unbiased, engaging, a simple pro and con, a way for you to engage on the issues. Click. Browse the issues, find ones that interest you, vote on them, make sure your lawmakers listen. This one click is magical. When you vote, we send an electronic message to your representatives in the background. This morning I received 3 emails from my representative in Congress. I also get vote notifications. I get told when votes happen in Congress, and then I have an opportunity to follow up. I can tweet at them, I can post to Facebook about them, I can build support around my views, and so forth. Social features extend that community around these issues. They allow me to promote my viewpoints and build a coalition around those issues, following users, building influence, and so forth. Organizations, users, nonprofits, candidates can all use Countable as a single place to build their coalitions. Push notifications, as I said, bring users back, drive ongoing engagement. We launched last year. We're now live on the web, iPhone, and Android. Had a lot of great early press and tremendous early adoption. We've sent over 1 million messages to Congress. We're growing rapidly. We've got a very well-rated app in the App Store. I encourage you to try it. Let me know what you think. The market we're going after from a revenue standpoint is twofold. It's nonprofit organizations and it's candidates for office, both of whom will use Countable to reach their potential members, donors, and constituencies. Very significant market driven by organizations, as I said, including our early launch partners. San Francisco and New York will be part of our growth as well as we move into local and state legislation. Sorry, I'm almost there. Almost there. Revenue will come from donations, native ads, and lead gen. We're looking for a seed round right now. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Crushing these guys.
I know. I'm sorry. I
drank
said
extra
strict.
coffee to go even faster.
I was told to be strict, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
playing the hook.
That's good.
All right.
It's good.
So, what do you guys think, Kirby?
Yeah, I don't know how many people really are that active in politics. I mean, it's a micro fraction of the country. I mean, if 25% of the people in the country take the time to vote, there's some, I vote every time, but I have no idea what the last bill or any bill that this year that was voted on What's the?
So where's the market, is that what you're saying?
What is the market?
What's the hook? First of all, it can't feel like politics. We've got to hook you on news and issues that you care about. It's got to feel like something. It's got to be keeping the A's in Oakland. It's got to be an issue that speaks to you, and that it's a one-click action that ties directly to it. So it's got to be in the news. It's got to be controversial. It's got to be something meaningful to you. Second of all, the market's actually massive. Like when you think about advocacy and you think about issues around advocacy, there's over 60 million volunteers in the country who care deeply about issues to spend their time volunteering for organizations. Those organizations largely are membership-driven, advocacy-driven, and they're trying to reach more members, but reach that 60 million to push their issues, push their agenda, and make change. So the numbers are actually very significant, and our approach in making it mobile and active is actually really interesting. And for that matter, one of the things that we've seen as a major driver for us is growth in the millennial segment, which most people don't think is going to be that interesting from a political engagement standpoint. But there are certain issues that are, for example, legalizing marijuana. One of our most popular issues, and anytime there's a bill about legalizing marijuana, our use goes up.
What's the difference between this and change.org?
Change.org is largely a petition-driven product. This is a direct connection with your legislator, your lawmaker, sends a message directly to your lawmaker whether or not you're for or against that issue. So it's one-to-one as opposed to many-to-one. And there's actually a lot of synergy between the two organizations and the two approaches. Change.org has a hard time bringing value today to politics because most laws aren't going to pass, particularly at the federal level. And so you can't really win a petition that way. But when it comes to educating you and keeping you informed about the issue, keeping you informed about if your lawmaker represents you in their vote, that's where we come in.
Paige?
I don't know, it just sounds like a boring solution to me. I mean, I want something that's like, you're not doing a good job, the fucking tax money gets done, or if I'm bitching, like I can give money to fund a crowd of people to follow you around and just make your life miserable until you vote to legalize marijuana. But this solution, I don't know, it's another content thing that just bores me.
Well, for most of the users who use it, they love it. They have fun with it. They like the idea that they can remain informed.
Just my opinion.
No, that's cool. I hear you.
So engagement is everything, and it feels like people rally around specific issues
Totally.
and get engaged around specific issues as opposed to a broad spectrum
Yep.
of bills. So how do you keep people engaged when somebody might be fired up about the Keystone Pipeline but
Right.
could give a shit about marijuana? That's just
Well, we use a lot of different hooks, right? So you can follow issues within your profile on Countable, and that tells us a lot about you. You tell us what you voted on previously, that tells us a lot about you. And we can use those things to inform you about issues that you're likely to care about later on. Where you live, there are lots of different hints that can drive that. The other thing is we can kind of create emphasis. So if there's a topic in the news that's meaningful, but there's no immediate legislation about it, we can still elevate a call to action around that and start to build buzz around that issue.
Most of the activity around like a change.org or the president's site where if you get 100,000 people commenting.
Petitions, White House petitions, yep.
So it's hot button issues, right? And then nothing comes of them. So in this case, as people vote and nothing comes of my particular vote,
Right.
how do you fight the disincentive for people just to give up? Basically what happens in the political system for the
Right.
vast majority of Americans today is I voted one way and nothing happened, and so I stopped voting. How does your solution address that?
Well, we address it head on. I mean, right now you have no visibility into what your representatives are doing. If you hear that they voted one way on a bill, if you read a bill, I mean, these things are really hard to parse. They're legalese, difficult to understand. What we're doing is we're bridging that gap, and we're doing it in little pieces where you can start to form a real opinion about your lawmakers and make change. Now, at the federal level, that's hard. At the local level, that's really meaningful. Local politics.
So you're starting local?
We're going to next week. We launch New York City.
Oh.
San Francisco's right after that.
All right, so time's up. I have a binary question for you.
Yes.
Do you sell the user data on the back end, yes or no?
Not yet.
But you will.
We might.
Okay, thank you.
We might. Thank you,
See you
sir.
later.